Hello people. So I wanted to describe a problem I have with the theory of forgiveness without contrition. Now I've talked about this previously. I talked about it in this video with Stefan Molyneux, talking about Stefan Molyneux, not actually with him. And I also might have mentioned it in some point in relation to gate 44 and 24, which I think is quite relevant to the concept. But my main point was the harsh disagreement with the principle of forgiveness without contrition. Now, I've laid the groundwork in that Stefan Molyneux video to really shoot the whole idea out of the water, to claim it as false as such. The idea that we can forgive others without them apologising or offering restitution or whatever it is. And this is for serious things. This isn't for smaller things. I mean, Stefan mostly talks about child abuse, so I mean that's pretty serious. But I wanted to add another thought I have had on this, just another thing that I think over. And so here we go. So this is a person. It's just a stick man, a person, a normal image. And this person has a place in their mind where they have an idea. And this is just a normal situation. And with almost any idea I can think of, in some manner, this will tend to go down to reality. And that's shown by the red down here. And we can use an example of pretty much anything. Say I'm learning a new skill. I'm learning how to fly a plane. Although I suppose it might be a bit interesting to someone if I learned all the theory of flying a plane but never flew a plane. It's not kind of really the point, is it? The point is once it is an idea within you like that, the point of it is to go down into the real world. And the evidence that I actually know how to fly a plane is if I actually fly a plane. And pretty much everything has this kind of relationship with reality. So let's say I say to someone, I intend to leave my job. The evidence of me leaving my job isn't the fact that I'm thinking about leaving the job and I'm talking about it. The evidence is if I actually leave the job. Say I was to write a book. The evidence of writing the book isn't me talking about it. The evidence is a physical product, book. I don't think there are really anything that I can think of where the thought of the thing is the evidence of the thing itself. I suppose you could say someone could be a philosopher maybe, and just their thoughts would be the point of it, or the poet. But even so, you expect a philosopher to have a book or a radio show or something like that. You expect a poet to have a book of poetry. And in the same way, we would expect someone who claims that they love another person to show that in the real world. It's not like I loved my friend, but when they started drowning in the pool and I could help them, I just sat there eating popcorn and watching them drown, right? That's not love, is it? We wouldn't say that from the physical evidence of our senses, this person does love their friend, because the evidence in reality is the evidence of what's going on within the person. And I think this is true of forgiveness, which was obviously where I was going. A lot of people will say, I forgive this person, but because they are the way they are, I'm not going to ever talk to them or interact with them or anything like that. And to me, it just sounds like an insane thing to say. Where is the kind of evidence that you have forgiven them, right? So if I was to actually forgive someone I knew for something, say I was to chat to them and say, I mean, Stefan Molyneux talks about this. If you say you forgive someone that is unrepentant, then they're only going to get angry with you. But let's say they are legitimately sorry and all that kind of stuff, and it's actually acknowledged that it wasn't a confusing situation where nothing really made sense. It was a situation where there was a clear aggressor. There was a clear understanding of the situation. If I go up to someone and I'm like, this thing that happened all this time ago, this really doesn't work for me. and I expect you to apologise. The other person says, oh yeah, I understand, that really was a bit crap of me. They do apologise, they don't ever do it again and all that kind of stuff, or they say they won't. Then my behaviour has got to change at that point, because that's a real forgiveness. And what that is saying is that that person's behaviour has changed enough that I don't have to have the behaviour anymore that responds to their behaviour. So if they are aggressive and violent, I don't have to be armed if I'm around them. This is a, silly example. But it's similar with emotional armour. Like, one of our emotional armours might be not spending time with someone. And I mean, that's my whole argument, really. I mean, there's a little more to it. If you say you forgive someone and then there's no physical manifestation of that in the real world, then say someone's wronged me, I say, oh, I forgive that person. Then what's the evidence of that in the physical world? Because surely the point of forgiveness perhaps is that you don't think over the thing in the same way again. I mean, the obvious answer is the evidence of the non-forgiveness is your change of behaviour anyway. But if we were to keep it to a mental level, is the evidence of forgiveness that we don't get angry about something? But then if there's no evidence of this in the real world, if I don't have to talk to the person anymore because I'm so enlightened I don't need to tell them about the forgiveness, then what's to stop me getting insanely angry the next day and just not telling anyone? It just seems like the whole thing doesn't really make any sense to me. And yeah, that's just another one of my thoughts on the subject. Thank you for listening.